Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. It is your WREXtra Time on the local pundit. As Josh would say, to beat a man, you have to beat the man. And tonight, we beat that man. Wrexham has moved into second place. We are in the automatic spots. Driving seat is now basically in our own hands. Can we pull this position to the end of the season? I think we can. Have your say.
It's WREXtra Time! Has anybody seen Richard Cone? Because he didn't show up today. He didn't want none. Wrexham win 1-0, just like we always do. To be the man, you got to beat the man, just like Patty said. And the man didn't have nothing for us today. Woo! Possession, what's that? We had 49% of it today, way more than we have in the last several games. We look so much better than we have. Not a ton going forward, but we had enough. We get the goal. Sam Smith, Wrexham legend already. The Reds are going up. That's all I got to say. Let's bring the boys in. Patty, how are we doing?
And who was being superstitious, and saying that we never win in a red shirt?
I don't
Was
know.
that
Who
me?
was that? That was definitely you.
Did I say we've had 5 away matches, lost 4 of them, drew 1? We should not. I still believe we should not be wearing a red shirt away. It's ridiculous. However, the curse is lifted.
That's right. It came through when it mattered the most. Came through when it mattered the most. Oh, I love it. So good. So good. The league table, it's a beautiful thing right now. If you can get a peek at the league table, it is absolutely awesome. 3 points clear in second place. Now, what we will have to say is Wycombe do have a game in hand, and they play that game in hand on Tuesday. And they play against Rotherham, which for those who are who've been around the channel for a while, or at least from the summer, will know I recruited that team. And it's time for my recruits to step up and beat Wycombe on Tuesday. So that'll be a big game. That could get them back level with us. But as you said earlier, we are in the driver's seat now. We are in the driver's seat. Wycombe have a much harder run in, and it'll be we are in the driver's seat. We are definitely in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I had some graphics there recently. I was showing people how difficult it was. I did it with you guys, and then I did it with Josh as well afterwards, doing a bit of a dive into the numbers. And Wycombe have an almighty challenge for the remaining part of the season. So I have a big suspicion that they will fall off. They haven't just yet, and potentially Charlton coming up from behind might be the ones that'll be challenge us come the end of the season.
Yeah, yes. They're the team that they're making a charge at the moment. In really good form, probably the best form in the league, I'd say right now. Looks like we've already got some people jumping in. I can't imagine why people would be excited today.
Queue up, guys.
Yeah,
we'll bring you in a couple of minutes.
Yep, we got a few waiting in the wings. We'll bring you in real quick. Yeah. So let's see. Okay. Sorry, I was reading something. All right. Okay. So what'd you think, Patty? Happy with that?
Yes, I am happy with that. It's back to a little bit of our old school. As I was saying, get up the wings, get crosses in, get pressure. I still would like a few more triangles than we're giving. You know, we're not offering enough options. You need to have at least 2 options with the passing, but we did much better. We held our own. It did seem a little bit cagey at times. I will say Wycombe maybe didn't go full attack. They were a little bit standoffish for a while. They certainly didn't want to lose it, but they didn't at all times look like they were on full attack. But of course, look, no team plays full attack all the time. But it was a good overall game. They didn't have Kone. Maybe Kone would have made a difference. But c'est la vie. Everybody has issues with players. We have had issues with players. We didn't have our standard midfield, which we do have today in the last match that we lost. So, as much as they haven't got Kone, well, kind of tough titties, as some would say. Now, the question is Kone really sick? Or is Kone actually injured? Because if he has to be out for a period of time again, then there may be a couple of matches without him. Now, if that's the case, that could also be a big problem for Wycombe.
Yeah, that's Richard Kone not playing is wild. I can't believe that he didn't play today. I know the rumor was illness. I just, and I have to be a hell of an illness to keep you out of a game like this, I would think.
It would in general, especially not making it to the bench.
Yeah.
But of course, look, if you did have a stomach bug or issues of that type, it's bad enough that you can't be running around and playing games. Something as simple as that can actually keep you out.
Yeah. All right. Well, you ready to bring some guys in and get going?
Yeah, why not? Everybody's in a happy mood. We can do the results later. So, Robert, we'll bring you in. You ready? We'll give you a second. And here we go. Let's see. Robert, can you hear us? You're live.
I can. Can you hear me?
Good. Very nice sound today.
Yes.
Good. Camera's off.
No problem.
That's okay.
What a game. What a finish. Such drama. It's amazing. This team never fails to entertain, either in a catastrophic negative way or an enthusiastic, euphoric, positive way. Always entertaining.
Yeah, there was chances on both sides, and the restart off a corner was not the safest and nicest way to restart a match. But we held it, and the chances started coming. We did look dangerous before it stopped. We were pressuring, we were getting dangerous balls in there, and Smith really looked like he wanted to score today. He looked very different from the last match.
Yeah, he was lively. He was lively today. What did you think, Robert?
All over it. I mean, again, inches when that ball kicked off the post, the inside of the post, no less. The funny thing was that the goal that he scored, if you look back at I think it was the Reading game, he had the exact same kick where he chops it down with his left side, and but that one didn't go in, and this one unfortunately did go in. So this is an exciting game. Plus the delay, everything's just basically adding to a Hollywood finish.
Yeah, absolutely. We're in the like we were saying, we're in the driver's seat. We have a good run in games we should be winning. Now it's up to us. It's up to the team to finish this thing out, and and really get this thing over with. Finish this thing. Let's go on a run like we did at the end of last season, and it'll be fantastic.
You have your desktop in front of you. Just to bring this in, you're talking about Kone being potentially out for a couple of games.
Mm-hmm.
Ask, what does Charlton's run-in look like?
Charlton's is very easy.
Yeah.
Charlton's is scary easy.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have to look a little bit behind you as well as look forward. So they might be gaining on you.
Yeah. Well, and that's why, like I said, that's why it's in our hands. So if we win out, we're winning this league, or not winning the league, but we're getting promoted. We're getting promoted if we can win out. So lost. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Penny.
What else? What else is your other guests thinking?
Let's have a look at the chat for a minute. and then we'll hit some of the high points and low points in that. Sorry, just got a message.
All right. So I'll go over the I'll hit some of these. So we got who's in the chat? See Nick Haslam in the chat. Where are all the fans singing Parky's praises? Yeah, been a lot of talk about Parky lately. And after a win like this, I think it'll be tough to hear some of the negativity. Or I wouldn't be surprised to not hear too much negativity today. All right, we got somebody else in the background.
Sorry to jump in there, boys. Yeah, Sean is in the background there. We're going to add him into us because he's driving home. Sean, how are you doing? Oh, frozen.
Oh, he's frozen.
I'm awesome. I'm exhausted, man. That was, if you don't know, I was at the game, and I hope that I'm cutting in and out.
You're okay. We can hear you. Keep on.
Yeah, we got you now. You're good. Go ahead.
Okay. So my third game, 7 points out of 9. My voice is gone. That was an experience. I don't even know how to explain and describe that. Nervous, first energy. Do you guys think, watching on TV, that the sun played on things?
It could have a little bit. We had the sun in the first half. Yeah.
And so because in the second half, it just seemed like the long balls were actually working because their defenders couldn't see them. And from when we were starting to put the pressure on the crowd was way more into it, but also it was tough with them tracking the ball. Sam Smith deserves a damn medal for that performance today.
Yeah, he really
not just the goal, but the effort, just stealing time. Like there was the 92nd to 92 minutes and 24 seconds. That was all him just robbing it, and stealing it from him. I can't I haven't seen that in the Huddersfield match I went to. Didn't see that in the Bolton match. It was just something special to behold. But I thought I'd step in here. I don't want to take up too much time because the coverage is waning. But I wanted to say hi to you guys and hope all is well, and just kind of get your take on how things looked. Both two things from you guys, if you wouldn't mind cluing me in. The Sam Smith penalty. Was it a penalty? Because it certainly looked like it from our angle.
Yeah, it did. It looked like a solid penalty.
Oh, and I've lost you.
Oh.
And so maybe I just sign off and do it at that. At some point in time, we'll have to get caught up and talk about that one, the Agonko save, and I appreciate you bringing me on.
All right. See you, Sean.
Okay. Cheers, Sean. Talk to you later. Okay, Robert, sorry about that there. The penalty, what do you think?
It looked fairly aggressive from the defender's side, so
that's a word for it, aggressive. Yeah, I agree.
Especially on the replay, coming over from behind. I'm baffled by why certain things are called and certain things are not called, vis-a-vis last week's call with our penalty. So it's seemingly random. So it's frustrating.
Yeah, it can be random. We have a new guest in the background I'm going to bring in and see what he thinks of the penalty. Anand, you ready to come in? Thumbs up. You good? Yes, there we go. Okay, welcome to the channel.
Yeah, it was a great game. I think we recovered well from the last game where we were totally flat, and I was worried about another away game being flat, and it was a great recovery, and I think it's a good sign for the next few games.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we definitely did seem more on it today. It was more front-footed performance from us. I thought the boys were really up for it. The levels seemed higher today. It was, that Reading game we were so flat. I totally agree. And today it did seem much better, much better. What do you think, Patty?
Yeah, absolutely. As saying, back to that old school where we do put the pressure on, even if we have periods that are a bit quieter. Once we get movement going, we can get attacks in. And almost every team, when we start getting that attack happening, they get nervous. They get very nervous. And I'm not quite sure why. Is it simply that no other team has been doing it to the standard that we can when we're on game, getting crosses in like that? But damn, yeah, it was back to making teams nervous. Maybe the sun played into it a little bit, but we had the sun in the first half. They should have scored 2 then. You know?
Interesting comment here from Bruce. Showed how much we miss Dabo.
Yeah,
what's everybody's thoughts? What's everybody's thoughts on that? Go ahead, Anand.
Yeah, I'm still sometimes worried about his near passes. Doesn't have
Mhm.
quite the right velocity, so he does scare me sometimes. But nobody has the heart of Doggo, so we definitely missed him. I also was, reminded of Mullins today, the way Sam Smith was playing. He was getting knocked around and he kept the momentum going throughout the end of the game. Uh, I think, I do see some frustration with the forwards, but they're not letting that affect their performance. They are running for the entire time they're out on the field. And so this was definitely a great win.
Yeah. Yeah.
Robert?
Robert, what do you think?
Midfield?
Again, Smith earned his paycheck today, but I think Arthur might have earned 2 paychecks today, in all honesty. I don't know who the official man of the match was, but Arthur got my vote. He had some phenomenal saves. And there was one that didn't look like a phenomenal save, but it was a very low kick from inside the box to the low corner, and he was well positioned for the save. It didn't look spectacular, but the positioning was the spectacular part, not the actual shot stoppage itself. He was phenomenal today, and he earned my vote. He earned my vote for the man of the match. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think the midfield changing back to our standard, with Dabo chasing people down and harassing everybody, helped a lot. Maka just didn't do it in midfield last week, unfortunately. It didn't work nearly as well. And Maka is something we will need to talk about today. He didn't have a good game today on the wing either. So maybe that's something we'll have to look at in the finale. The last couple of games we have. Go on.
What did we think of Rathbone?
Solid enough for me.
Yeah, it's a little quiet. Quiet is kind of quiet, but he was good. He wasn't bad, not in a bad way. He didn't do anything spectacular, which we've seen him do. Where he just makes an unbelievable tackle, so he didn't have any of the big moments that we get from him sometimes. But his work ethic, his work rate was still high. Performance you get from him where he's just running like crazy. He still had that. So I thought he was still thought he was good. What'd you think, Ednan?
Yeah, I think we clogged up the middle quite well. And they didn't really have any good flow. So I think our midfield was, as usual, excellent. Uh, yeah, credit to our goalkeeper to make sure that nothing went past. They could have done maybe a little bit better, and it might have been a different score. But whatever saves were there to be made, including the low away save, which is quite a tough save, quite a good reflex save.
Yeah,
and there was a penalty that the umpire didn't give to us. So all in all, a good game for us.
Yeah,
AO is very good at getting down low. For those shots, they're very dangerous shots. When they come in like that, and it's hard to get down for them. But he seems to have maybe improved in that area a little bit. But it is his shot stopping that we kind of brought him in for. And he seems to be on his game now. And considering a lot of our matches are going the way of 1-0s, and keeping low scoring, AO is a big part of that, because one mistake could completely derail a 1-0 win, and we could end up going on to lose it. So absolutely, he deserves everything he gets. He had a shaky part, and you know what? People were asking, is he able to do championship? I think that is slowly going away again. He obviously has a high ceiling, but I think we're starting to see someone who is certainly worthy of getting a chance in the Championship. And if for some reason he isn't good enough in the Championship, then he can certainly be the number 2.
Yeah, I think he's good enough at Championship level with his height and reach.
Yeah.
Maybe some more progress to be made. And, I think at this level, the shots are usually coming in at close range, and he's doing great for those. Maybe at the Championship level, we'll get more shots out of the 25-yard box that are more accurate. And of course, we're jumping ahead right now, but yeah, for us, he's great right now.
And something else he's very good at as well is I have certainly seen some nice long range shots come in, and I don't think AO looks under any pressure at all, stopping them or at least parrying them. You know, he's got the eye on them and he's got to them, and that is something that will absolutely happen more in Championship if we keep this spot, because they will go for long range shots because they have the skill and the talent to do it. So we will also have more pressure against us, so more shots will be coming in, and his shot stopping ability could be an absolute key in keeping the score down next season.
Yeah, it's always
absolutely.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Always good to have tall goalies who are agile, and I think a lot of the opposition thinks that, hey, let's go low and try to get him that way, and like he showed today, even if the ball's on the ground, he's still able to dive and get that ball from a standing position. So that was really a good save in that regard. So definitely a good win for us today.
Yeah, massive 3 points today.
Robert, anything else you want to bring up in particular?
No, just looking forward to the run-in, especially now that we're just playing Saturdays for the most part. It's exciting. It's exciting, and it will remain exciting. So, but watch out for Charlton.
Well, this is something actually that we haven't had, is the fun of kind of being chased. So this will make it interesting now. And I have said, and others have said as well, if we pull off the win next against Stockport, that's the next match coming. We always have to go straight from one to the next. If we pull off a win versus Stockport, that is big, because that's kind of our pretty much our last big game. We have one second last, which will be Charlton. Sorry,
no, it's Charlton. Yeah,
it's Charlton.
That could be a really big game depending on how
that could be important for them or for us or both of us or against each other, depending. So that could be the last big one. But we, in theory, have an easier run now. We need to put the pressure on. We need to stop making silly mistakes. And we need to just knock out 3 points, and push. And hopefully it can be finished before the last match or 2 matches. Hopefully it doesn't need to go all the way down to the wire. And we can do that. We absolutely can do that.
Yeah, knowing us, we'll be sweating it out on the last day.
I hope not. I hope it's over.
Maybe.
Shoot.
Yeah, I think our owners are quite busy in the US, so we haven't seen them recently, but I'm sure they will make an appearance if we keep a good streak going.
That's actually a good point. I heard that Rob was going to be at the game. I don't know if he was, though. Does anybody be interested? Anybody in the chat have got any confirmation on that or anything? Because I knew there was rumors that he was going to be in town for this game. So I'd be interested in seeing.
We heard the rumors.
He didn't make it. Yeah.
Well, Wycombe is close to London. So,
okay.
And, both of their significant others have had great success in the US with their television show and their movie. So, it's quite stressful for them, but I think, as a Wrexham fan, our ownership family is having a good time this year.
Yes, and just continuing on that point, it would be nice to see a few more people turn up. But it's not needed. I know there's 2 sides to this coin. Sometimes we seem not to play too well when people turn up and are in the stands. But maybe a bit more love in the stands from some of our owners would be good.
Yeah, I'm with you. That would be nice. Maybe be there for the Stockport game. That'll be a big game. Would be nice to see him. Would be nice to see him in the at some more of the games. They definitely, it does seem like this season's, but they've been there a lot less than they have in the past. So, and I'm sure they both got plenty going on. So, but it'll be nice to see a little more of them.
Well, you talk about attendance of the games, but let's just change that to proximity to the team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if, again, I tend to harp and dwell on this, the Mullen-Palmer situation is making them do a rethink about how close they get to the players in the team.
I wouldn't be worried about that. I think, football has a harsh side to it. I
Very-
know Mullen, maybe we could have done something better, but, Mullen is a legend for us. Nothing changes uh, as to how Mullen's career pans out. In our hearts and mind, I think Mullen is still the goat for this Wrexham run.
Yeah.
And the fact that things didn't work out, especially with his back injury and then his lung injury, I think it has taken a toll on him, and he's not showing it. Hopefully, next season he comes back better, whether it's with us or with someone else. He'll always be a great uh, member of the Wrexham squad. I think with Palmer, he had a very specific role. He was not mobile, and I think uh, Fletcher and Rodriguez have taken that role away for sure. With the striker, they're just a couple of injuries away, so I won't give up on Mullen for this season yet. But that's unfortunately a part of the game as we keep getting promoted, and we might see more of this if we get promoted.
Yeah.
It's still a little early now, but it would be good to have a forward-looking who could survive into the championship. Who from this squad can go into the championship?
Yeah. Once we get just a little bit closer, I'm sure we'll sit down and go through the players. It is one of those things, though, like among fans of the show, some people actually hate the idea of going through that and talking about who needs to leave and who gets to stay before we're either up or in League One. So I'm sure we'll do it a little bit further down the road. But we've discussed it in parts, kind of at different times. But
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll do a show on it, and we'll go through all the contracts and all of that. We'll do a bit of a deep dive into every player, what their situation is, and then compare to if we were to stay in League One or if we were up in the Championship.
One of the interesting things that happened is that I was watching the YouTube show from Wrexham AFC's channel at the beginning of the game, and they were showing the highlights from the first game of the season, which was the Wycombe game.
Okay.
And so much of the team has changed in those 35 games.
Oh, we've lost you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
I was just
You're okay. Keep on.
From the first game to the 35th game, how much of the team has changed? So you got to remember that when the first game, I believe Dobson was the only change from the League Two team. That was it. And now you look at it, how many more changes have we've had?
Yeah.
I think that has been a factor of how well we are doing. If we were stuck in the middle of the league, you might have seen, in my mind at least, a team that was similar to our previous year's team. I think once we started staying on top of the group, I think management had no other choice but to keep getting better. I know there is a conversation, especially in Wrexham, that maybe it's time to uh, stay there and get the stadiums better and so on. But I think every season has its own quirks and turns, and you are usually not on. It was unexpected that we will be at the top, and now we have to react and get to the championship league. And if we reach the championship league, I'm guessing we'll be one of the smallest stadiums when that happens. But I think the primary focus of a football club is to keep winning, especially when the end is near in sight.
I think with the cop not being available, the temporary stand not being available next season, we'll be at 11,000, I believe is the rough capacity. And that's
10.
on the low end, but
10.
not the absolute low end of the
Yeah, it'll be it's next year's going to be interesting when they're building the cop, and trying to get tickets is going to be probably
it's going to be a
disaster.
nightmare.
Yeah, it'll be a disaster next season.
Well,
whether in League One or Championship, it doesn't matter. We're going to be max capacity every single match without the cop. It'll be at the full 10,000.
The other thing too,
in the corners at the other end with temporary stands.
Too small, and they were saying that they'll use that space to store some stuff for the building works. Whatever's available. Like sometimes as well, you have to be able to have traffic around certain areas. So I'm not sure if it's blocked off or not. But the answer is pretty much no. And it's not big enough either to warrant doing it, I think. So yeah, 10,000 is all it'll be.
Everybody, let's get more people in here. Big win today. We've only got 2 in so far. We always bring more people in. Come on in, get your calls in.
We have the Red Horde on briefly, but he had issues.
Yeah, briefly.
And we did have another guest who wanted to come in, but again had some signal issues. So guys, let's make this a group effort.
Yeah. Get in here. Yeah, get in the group, guys. Get in the group.
Today was one of the best away crowd that I saw. They were really into the game, and even when we were slacking, they were really cheering the team on. So it was lacking in the last game, but I think the crowd and the players were not doing well last game, but today was great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Today was great.
Absolutely.
And I think Smith maybe has figured out. Go on, Robert.
No, I'm agreeing. Is that the singing was amazing throughout the second half before the stoppage. I don't know exactly how many people were there. Maybe 1,000, 1,500 from Wycombe, from Wrexham. But the volume was just absolutely incredible, and it wasn't just the volume; it was the consistency and the continuity of it. They were just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, so my comment there was going to be on Smith. Nick has put up here, he thought that Smith played well. He may not have been technically great, but he busted his ass for 92 minutes. Now, what I saw from Smith today maybe was what Parky expects from players. He doesn't want technical brilliance. That's not what he's asking them for, because he allows people to be more flexible than that. He wants you to work your ass off for the team. So if this is a slight adjustment to Smith, and he's going to be doing this in every match and harassing players and pushing and trying to grab his own ball and be in difficult places, that's exactly what Parky, I think, would want from him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think when you're in the box as a striker, you have to have that extra gear. And Smith showed it on both the plays where he hit the goalpost. Nobody expected him to poke his toe in there, but he did it. And then, he had great control over that shot. Not sure if it was going over or not, but, once it took the deflection, it went in. And so, when he got his opportunities, he cashed in. And that's all we are looking for from our forwards. And I think Smith did really well for us today.
Okay, we have our next guest, guys. So let's bring in Tess. Tess, welcome. You're live.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
We can hear you nice and clear.
Cool. Can we get negative for a second?
No
No
way, Tess.
No, go on. What do you want to say?
So, let's be real, right? If we don't score that goal, obviously we have I'm so ecstatic about the result. I really am. But
okay,
not to be the defender of Parky again, but like it sort of baffles me when people are like, our system, how we work. I think Parky is just like, if I don't make these people play super defensive, we're going to get murdered. Because when I look at Max, when I look at O'Connell, when I look at Matty James, they can't pass. They can barely hold on to the ball. What do you guys think? Am I crazy here?
I think Parky's style is not to give a counter-attacking goal. So the back is always keeping a structure, and we are pretty much leaving it up to the forwards to contribute to the goal scoring efforts. Um, there is an approach where you can flow in more players as a quick attack, and I don't think Parky has that in his playbook right now. So, and I've seen some games where the crowd gets frustrated because the defense is trying to hold its shape rather than going into the space that's available for a counter attack or an attack. Uh, Hopefully, that will change as maybe if we go into the next level, that might not be a feasible way to play.
Okay. Robert needs to head off. So, Robert, any final points here you want to make?
I disagree in that the Max and Brunt and Connell can't pass. I think they can. I think, again, to emphasize the last point, Parky wants a defensive team, get rid of the ball, move it up, long passes, hoof it up. And I think you do see the skill of defensive players to play an offensive role towards the end of the game when we're behind. So if you go back to the Reading game, though we didn't score, everybody was able to move the ball up, and it was a very offensive-minded backfield. However, that's not what he wants from his players in a normal course of the game, only when we're behind and we're pressing. So I think the skill set is there. I think they just don't use it because they're effectively instructed not to use it.
Okay, I have one word to start what I'm going to say. Aaron, what's the word?
I don't know. Oh, I know the word. I do it. Triangles.
Triangles, yeah. Look, we need to get better at giving players on the ball two options. Maybe one go backwards option or sideways option, and one person coming in for a forward motion. So that is something we need to get better at, because that's not a crazy thing to ask. People need to be moving into a closer and easier position in order to give an easy pass. You need to be able to pass around the press, because that was one of our problems in the last match that we lost with Reading, is they pressed us and we couldn't play through them, which left us with the only option is, well, two options: lose the ball or hoof the ball over their head and then just hope someone gets on the end of it. And we weren't getting on the end of enough of them in that situation. So that's a small thing that they need to improve. Absolutely. Why they're not improving it, I don't know. It seems like that's not a crazy thing to ask, but people seem a little bit too rigid in where they are positioning themselves, and they're not just moving even 1 foot, moving towards somebody, moving in a better direction to get around another player of the opposing team that's in your way. Sometimes one extra step will give enough space for the person on the ball to slide a pass through to you or into an area in front of you, but they have to see you. If you're hidden line of sight from someone who is attacking them, they can't get the ball to you, and they can't put it into dead space near you because they don't see where you are. So that's where the triangles come in. They have to be able to see at least two people pretty much at all times, is what the way it should be working. But we're not good at doing that, and that's a problem. It's okay to pass the ball over the heads and try and make breaks. We do that a lot, but sometimes we do it when it should not be necessary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is something we talked about this earlier in the season. Is I don't think Parky necessarily says hoof the ball no matter what. I think he wants the players, if they feel pressure, to hoof the ball, get it out of there. Because he's playing percentages, he would much rather them have possession in their half than us have possession in our half under pressure, because to him it's more dangerous for us to have the ball in our own half and possibly make a mistake and give the ball away. And so I think that's just the percentage he plays. I think that's how he looks at it. So I think when we do get pressure on us, if we can pass through it. But I think he gives them the license to, let's just get the ball in the other end, and maybe we get on it. And if not, at least they don't have the ball in our half. And some people don't like that, and I'm not taking a stance either way. I understand it though. I understand it tactically. I understand why you would want to play that way. So it's just there's so many different ways to play football. There's so many different styles, and there's a lot of teams that do use triangles, and they build from the back, and they put and they pass through a press, and they're really good at it. It's just not how we set up and not how we play.
Yeah, but
Yeah. So our style, the forwards get beaten up pretty bad because they have to fight and fight and fight when a ball is launched in the air, and it's taking a toll on our forwards. So one way of looking at why our forwards change is because it's actually taking a toll on their bodies, and they can't really perform the way they were performing in the first few games. So even Mullen, to some extent, even though he played a very few games, the approach of just feeding it over and then let the forwards fight for the ball is working for us, but it takes a toll on the forwards.
Yeah, that's fair. It's a fair comment. Like I said, I'm not taking a stance either way. I understand what he's trying to. He's playing the percentage that we'd rather not make a mistake in our own half and give an easy goal away. And I guess so many teams that have done that. There's been so many teams that we have that you've seen give away an easy goal, a tap in, because they were trying to play. I mean, today they nearly did. They're trying to pass the ball back to their keeper, and Smith nearly scores because they're playing around at the back with the ball. And that's what Parkey doesn't want, and that's what he's trying to. I think that's what he's trying to protect against by playing the way we play. Go ahead, Tess. You had something to say?
Yeah, I mean, I guess my comment, I should probably rephrase it. My comment is more on, at least from the way I see it, a clear lack of quality in some of the players. Like, so I understand, like, right, if you're feeling pressure, get rid of the ball. Max will get rid of the ball. There was a few times today. He got rid of the ball when there was nobody even close to him. And when they constantly headed forward, they can sometimes take the ball down when they have space, but they always play like they're having a panic attack. Brunt is much better at this. Look at O'Connell today. He had like 3 or 4 times where he completely just missed. And for me, I think that then Parkey probably would adjust to that fact, the way we used to adjust with Tozer, right? Tozer was really poor on the ball. That's why we were so refreshed by O'Connell being better than him on the ball when O'Connell came in. So that's, I mean, and I see Matty James the same way, where they to me, it looks like it's not strategic when they're panicking, because you could hoof the ball forward much better, much more accurate, right? But they kind of they flail, they kick it super out of reach of everybody else. It's not accurate, so I don't know. I think that, and also, and when I was watching today, I was watching the Stockport game. They look like a completely different league than us. When people come at them, they can handle the ball, they can kick, and they can pass. You know what I mean? They don't just freak out and go quicker than they need to.
I think it is a bit of a function of how Parkey wants the team to play. Of course, I was just a kid soccer coach for a short time, but I think they're trying to get the ball ahead as soon as possible, just to catch the other team off guard and off shape. And then over time, it starts playing on the mind of their defense, and they start hanging back. So it's usually, so by the 75th minute or so, we start imposing our will on them. If you see how the games usually play out. I know, sometimes it's, especially after a win, I don't want to criticize our approach. And I think we created some good chances using this technique.
Yep, I agree with that. I agree with that. I think.
Yeah, and I'm not complaining. I'm just pointing out what I just see as like a limitation of the squad. You know what I mean? But if we want to like be super celebratory, that's cool too.
Yeah, I mean, I understand wanting to. I guess. I mean, I'll just push back. Okay, I'm just going to push back on you. We're second in the league, so why are we complaining? Or why are we picking at our players? I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? I understand. Yeah, there's definitely nobody's perfect, and they're not going to be. I'm sure Wycombe. There's Wycombe fans that are going to look at things that their team did, and they're going to think that was really bad. So but I do think, while I agree, yes, you can. I mean, there are negative things to every game, but we can be positive too. We can be positive.
Let's stick a little bit more positive today. So I'm going to change the topic
here.
here.
I'll bow out. It's all good.
Yeah. No, you can stay. It's fine. I'm not kicking you out. Like your points are valid, but I'm going to take Glenda's point here a little bit and just say we've just taken the automatic spots. So yes, let's push it back a little bit more positive. And I'm going to pull Parky up here, because I actually think today is maybe a day to actually look at the positives of Parky. Because for all the flaws in his game and his style and what he's doing, it is working. And that is the main point. So it doesn't matter if we're not the most technical, and it doesn't matter if we don't have the fanciest triangle passing, or that we don't look the nicest. It's not the smoothest play, but it's working. The other teams can't handle it for the main. We will occasionally lose a horrible match. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm a gigantic
someone
Parky
can get
supporter.
a good one on us. But we are pretty much at 2 points per game now. Yeah.
Hey, Patty.
Okay, so throw out something you like about Parky.
Okay.
Yeah.
Patty, I think you're having internet issues because you keep stopping and glitching and
okay.
And then it, like,
I'll jump out again and come back in and see if it fixes.
Come back in.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So let's let's going on to the positivity. So here's one thing that I do think it gets mentioned, but it doesn't get talked about nearly enough. Our defensive ability. Our defense has been fantastic. So in the last just in our last 5 games, we've got 4 clean sheets. I don't think we talk about that enough. And I think it's something that we should talk about more. Our back 3, there are really 4 of them. If to be fair, there's been 4 of them that have played fantastic in that back 3. When you talk about O'Connell, Cleworth, O'Connor, and Brunt today, all 4 of those players have been fantastic, and they've all made mistakes at times, but every player makes a mistake. You know what I mean? There's no perfect player, in any sport. So I think we need to give those guys some credit for how well they've done, especially in our last 5 games with 4 clean sheets out of 5. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, we are not giving up shots in the 20-25 yard range at all. I don't think the opposing team likes what they see from that range. So they have to come in, and at the 6 yard, 10 yard level, I think AO has been great, and we've got some good stops there. So yeah, our defense, as a team, has done really well, and it's not a comfortable watch, but but they play as a team, and we've had the occasional mix-ups, but we're pretty solid at the back.
Yeah, we've been fantastic, and really, in our midfield, defensively has been really, really good too. Like you said, we don't give a lot of shots up at 25 yards out. Those long shots just don't come in, and I think that's down to our midfielders defending so well. We are very we're really good at the back. I mean, it's just really good in our half, defending in our half. We don't get blown out. You know what I mean? We don't lose games 3-0 and 4-0. I don't know what our worst loss of this season has been. Probably 3-1 to Birmingham. Was that the worst one? Was there another one? Might have been similar, but we just don't give up a ton of goals. We really don't, and we haven't all season. So yeah, I think our defense, that's something that Parkey has drilled down, and we are really good defensively. And like Welsh Techie says, strikers win games, defenders win championships. Yeah, and I agree with that. I think the defense wins championships, and we're looking to get promoted, and that's what we want. And that's what we want to do. What do you think, Patty?
Yeah, absolutely. I was just doing a graphic here in the background, and updating it because I saw a comment there asking about what we need to do to finish it out. So I was bringing that up there, guys.
Oh,
so
all right,
sorry.
cool. I guess I can go over the result. We haven't really completely gone over the results for today, so we can do that real quick. Let's do that. Let me pull these up real quick. So today we had. Oh wait, I hit the wrong button. That was dumb. All right, League One. Here we go. Okay. All right. So the fixtures for today, we had Bolton losing 1-0 to Stockport, and that was at Bolton. So Stockport go to Bolton, get a big win. That's a big win for Stockport. Cambridge United lose at home 1-0 to Peterborough. That's a big win for Peterborough. They're trying to keep out of that relegation zone, which I think, right now they're in pretty good shape, but they're not completely out of it. Blackpool lose at home 1-2 to Leyton Orient. So Orient get a big win there, get back to winning ways. Charlton, the team that's really hot right now, they beat Wigan at home 2-1. I was really hoping for Wigan to get a result there, because just to slow Charlton down a little bit, they've been really hot. Huddersfield, out of nowhere, they can't score goals at home. All of a sudden, they scored all the goals at home. They get a 5-1 win against Crawley at home. Loads of goals going in for Huddersfield. And I believe that puts them, I think they jumped Bolton and puts them back in the playoff contention. So then Lincoln played Bristol today, beat Bristol 5-0. Absolute 5 goal games today, which is really crazy. We haven't seen much of that this year. Mansfield got a big win at home against Barnsley 2-1. They've been struggling. Mansfield's been struggling recently.
Yeah, they're safe now.
Yeah, I'd say they're probably safe. Getting a win today probably puts them in pretty good shape to stay safe. But yeah, that was a big win for them. Northampton at home against John's Birmingham. Birmingham in the mud, drawing to Northampton. This is an awesome result for them. I honestly, when we went to Northampton, I thought they were the worst team I've seen all year. I really did. They were horrible when we beat them there, and getting that result against Birmingham for them is huge. I do think it's a little bit. I feel like Birmingham's a little bit on the beach. Like they just feel like, okay, we've won this thing. You know what I mean? So they're probably in a little bit of cruise control. John might be able to tell us a little more about that. But 1-1 for Northampton. What a result for them. Reading, they draw 1-1 with Stevenage at home. Rotherham draw 1-1 with Exeter at home. Burton gets a huge win in the relegation fight over Shrewsbury, 2-0 at Shrewsbury. So Burton, to me, looking at the table, Burton are the one team that are in the bottom 4 that have a chance of getting out, but I still think they're 5 or 6 points from safety. So they've got work to do, but they've got a chance, I think. And then, of course, we won today over Wycombe 1-0, which was a huge, huge thing. We can look at the table real quick. So Burton are 6 points behind Bristol Rovers. And actually, there's several teams on 42 points. So Peterborough, Northampton, and Bristol Rovers are all on 42 points. And Burton's 6 points behind all of them. So everybody, and then behind, then Crawley is in 22nd, 30 points, or with 30 points, there's 6 points behind Burton. So I feel like the bottom 3 are probably out. Burton's got a chance, but man, they've got work to do. Don't know if they can get it done. And then up at the top of the table, I got to say, it looks really pretty today. Really pretty right now. Birmingham on 83 points, in the mud with 83 points. And then Wrexham with 71 points, 3 points clear of Wycombe. Wycombe on 68. Charlton on 66 points now, moving up, trying to make a run. So that puts us 5 points clear of Charlton right now. Stockport on 65 points. We're 6 points clear of them. And Huddersfield did jump Bolton, and they're on 61 points, and they're in 6th place in the playoffs. So that's kind of the roundup of what's going on in the league. What's your thoughts on that, Anand?
Yeah, it was a great jump for us, but I think Charlton's making a move, and I think I heard it mentioned earlier that they have an easier schedule, so we might be sweating it out for the second spot with them. I think Wycombe, I thought, had given up because they traded their best player, but I guess they're still good enough to stick around here. So so it looks like we'll be fighting it out with Wycombe and Charlton and Stockport. So
Yeah,
a lot of deja vu for the folks that have tracked us during promotion times. But it's always good to have a match, 3 points ahead. It's that buffer for that one bad day we might still have. It's also alternating between the commentary on CBS and our Wrexham commentary, and I really love hearing Mia Roberts broadcast real good analysis from her. Looking forward to going back and looking at the match again for that. But yeah, really happy today from where we are. I'm a sort of a bandwagon jumper, so I know 2-0 result, and I'm out of there doing other stuff at the house. But today was a great day.
Okay,
that's awesome.
So I'll bring up some graphics here and just once again give a quick rundown of what's happening in the next couple of matches. So John put this up earlier. He thinks we need 6 wins and 3 draws for the run-in for automatics. So that's pretty close to what I'm about to say. And I'll bring them up. So I just updated this one in the background. This is my little graphic of the remaining matches. So now we have beaten Wycombe Wanderers, and the matches remaining are 9. In theory, we need 20 points to hit the average that a team finishes in second spot, which is 2.22. Now, that's not going to happen. We're not going to actually hit that average because the average is a little high compared to where we are at this point in the season. So there will be a few matches left, but based on needing 20 points, this is what's left. Take down the comment because it's getting in my way. And it's about me. So right. So this is us, what we have left here. And in theory, we can take out Lincoln, Wigan, Bristol, Exeter, Cambridge, Blackpool, and Burton. And Charlton and Stockport are 2 hardest matches we can draw. We don't need to win those. And that will put us at a very high level, which is the average, in order to second. But stay in second is my belief on it. So that's us. Let's jump over to our little pals Wycombe. And they now need 23 points, but they have 1 extra game on us because they still have the game in hand. So for them, they can lose to Charlton Athletic, draw with Bolton, draw with Stockport, and then they have to win every other match to get to that point. But if you have a quick look at who else they have to play, they have everybody in the top half almost still to play. Charlton, Leighton, Bolton, Stockport, Lincoln, they're all pretty big there. And maybe this graphic will show it a little better. So this is everybody's running. Oh no, I pulled up the wrong one. Hang on 2 seconds, guys. That's the wrong one. Present slides. This one.
Yeah, I think Wycombe does look to be in a spot.
Okay, so this shows you what's left for the season, and how difficult or easy the games are. So the difficult matches for us would have been Wycombe, which we've now just won instead of lost, which is excellent. And then Charlton Athletic and Stockport. All the rest, in theory, are easy games. Behind the black line is the bottom half, and outside the black line is a top half team. So you then look at the Wycombe. They, in theory, could lose to us, lose to Charlton, and then draws here. But they have 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 12th all to play. And now this graphic is just a little old, so it bounced around a little bit. But they have a huge number in this top half. They have a very difficult time for the remainder of the season. So I expect them to drop points heavily. The other one then is Charlton, who are pretty close behind. And they're the ones that can go on a run. They have 7 matches in the bottom half of the table. And then the matches remaining from the top half are Wycombe Wanderers away, which will be a good match because someone has to lose points there. There's ourselves still to play. That'll be the second last match of the season. And Huddersfield. But they obviously are up and down at the moment. You never know what you're going to get from them. So they, in theory, may actually have an easier chance of going on a long run. And they have been on one so far. They have been on a nice streak. So they could be the tougher ones from behind. So we need to just keep ourselves up there, keep pulling games, keep pulling points. And that runway is getting shorter. And it will be gone pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Just curious, does anybody know if we have more games showing at the Cosm Theater in Texas and LA?
That's a good question, and I don't know.
I haven't heard.
I don't know that I've heard. I would be surprised if we didn't get another couple, or at least one more. Yeah, I don't think they've announced anything yet, though, so that'll be interesting to see. For sure. What do we got?
John Merrill. Please, for the love of God, do not blow it to Charlton and that jumped up little twat Nathan Jones.
Tell us how you really feel, John. Oh,
yeah.
shoot.
And Sean saying, yeah, let's get it done before playing Charlton.
Yes,
that is very possible. It is very possible we can have enough points by the time we hit Charlton that it's done and dusted.
Yeah.
So let's aim for that.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
So on that little bombshell,
Yeah.
look behind you. Thanks, John. Yes, it's in, and we are good enough to do it. We are now in positive form, guys. Let's keep this going. And I think thank you to everybody. Come join us on our next show, and we will see you then. Take care.
Bye-bye.